is May 30th. And boy, we got a hot one today, man. My boy Nate from Valhalla VFT is on here. We got some usual characters, and we got an Aussie coming in hot with a crazy ass accent asking for beans and mash for breakfast. So we'll get started. Nate, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. Glad to be back. Been away for the last couple of weeks traveling, but we're back now.
Let's go. All right. We back, man. We're going to chop it up a little bit. Me and Nate. Nate's been on the road. Nate got to go do something that I got to do about 15 years ago. We'll kick it off a little rub dub in the tub. How was Travis Pastrana Land's house? And did you get close to killing yourself while you were there?
Well, okay. I did. Well, I rode. I wasn't going to, right? Me and Jake joked about it. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything dangerous while I'm out there. And then I ended up in Travis Pastrana's, like, what are they? The
Subarus?
Not rally car. Yeah,
the
ones
the Subaru
the rally cars.
Yeah.
Going through his track where I thought we were going to like pink miss the entire time. But dude, him riding in a rally car with Travis Pastrana was probably one of the coolest, but also like scariest things I've ever done. It literally insane. But that dude has got to be one of the coolest, most humble dudes I've ever met in my life. Just such a down to earth, cool dude, man. So yeah, it was rad being out there.
Only 2 minutes.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Ben, listen, we were just sitting here waiting.
How's it going?
We were waiting for all the middle-aged women to show up and, camp out. Hey, let me ask you this, Ben. When you come out in the morning and you leave that swanky hotel you're in, or, that penthouse apartment, are there like women camped out in tents, like on the sidewalk? You know how like the homeless people camp out in tents in New York?
Sometimes.
You get that sometimes?
Sometimes.
Man. No. Thanks for showing up, man. We love you, brother.
That's great seeing you, brother. Man. Great to see you. I love the shirt.
Thank you, man. We were just out talking about Nate was out at Travis Pastrana's house for Travis Pastrana Land.
Cool.
And I gave him the warning, don't kill yourself. Like I almost killed myself 15 years ago out there trying to do a front flip.
Oh, actually, Jake, no, I didn't even tell you it did almost kill ourselves. So the first day, it was the non-film day, and it was just all CAG and SF dudes. And it was unhinged, like way more unhinged than it should have been. And they were going to jump in the rally cars, and I was going to get in with Travis. And then Travis was like, someone's riding with me. You just drive that one. And I'm like, I've never driven a rally car before, right? And everybody's like, I can just go. Well, it was really cool until, dude, I pull out. The first car, and they're getting driven by professionals. It's all Travis's team. But somehow, I'm behind the wheel of one of these things. Like, this seems like a bad idea. And the first guy, peels out. I try to, keep up with him right out the start. I take a wrong turn left, and immediately another rally car is going off like a 6-foot jump right in front of me. And I try to yank it out of the way just in time for the two wheels to smash. We almost all died just immediately, 15 seconds into it. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not.
That's so cool, though, man.
I'm not driving anything anymore. You crazy.
Or what was that?
No, it was just people fucking around.
Okay. Man. Super cool.
So Ben, 15 years ago, I was coaching wide receivers at Maryland. Special Greg, who is a monster in, everything that Travis does, is his nephew. And so he was a wide receiver for us. So my whole position group was out there trying to do these tricks on bicycles. I'm a 34-year-old man, but I grew up.
There was people doing them there, Jake. When I got there, they were doing backflips into the pit on the motorcycles.
So I showed up and I whipped a backflip, but it's literally, he has a big ass garage. I'm sure it's much more advanced now that he moved out of Texas.
I mean, Jake,
he
used to have an athlete though too, man. You're quite an athlete, so I could see you, pulling something out.
I'm telling you, that when you talk about a place where you can commit death quickly,
Oh yeah.
Like it's at the top of the list because there's dudes like Special Greg was going 50 feet in the air on a trampoline that was about 6 feet wide.
I don't know if
he did that.
Any of these guys
did that off of their giant ramp that starts at like the top of the hill, and they have this giant it's like an inflatable bag, but it's like 30 feet high, right? That they can do the giant tricks off. He went down on a tricycle and did a double backflip off the ramp like 80 feet in the air off a tricycle.
Who is
Special Greg?
Yeah, one of the guys that works.
That's the old wide receiver. That's my wide receiver that played for me at Maryland.
Yeah, dude.
It's Travis's nephew.
Next level athlete. We're talking.
Oh no, he's one of the best athletes I've ever been.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, they have a whole. It's called like Channel 199. They have a whole production out there. They have a bunch of famous motocross guys that are all part of it, like rally car racers and stuff.
I used to ride, quite a bit, and then obviously in the military career, I didn't do that, but grew up with it, and then started on 2 wheels, then went over to like ATV quad cross type stuff. And
they would have made you do backflips, bro.
Dude,
for sure.
But like my first time, I don't know if you've ever been to Breezewood Proving Grounds out there in Pennsylvania, like a supercross track. The first time I pulled up there, and I had a Can-Am 450, all pretty much race ready almost, and with all the stuff on it, super fast, crazy fast. I pull up in there, and I'm like, checking in. All of a sudden, I look, this dude comes off this massive jump, literally like double the height of the house. Yeah, this couple story house, and I'm like, I think I'm in the wrong place, man. I don't think this is for me. I was like, holy crap! And then I got used to it until I came up short on a massive jump. I came up short, and that ended the party for me for a bit.
So this is Nitro Circus. So this is the whole party that they had. They've been rolling Nitro Circus. In the beginning, they were doing crazy stuff like jumping off of cars into the water, off of bridges.
They still are, man. They jumped a what was it? A Corvette.
That's Special Greg. That's my dude right there. That's Special Greg. That's my dude, man. He funny as shit, man. He power cleaned. I want to say it was like 405 as a wide receiver.
Wow. So quick,
he's
quick,
quick, super dude.
Make the noise!
What?
You have just
witnessed
history. The first special flip.
See, but the thing is, I gotta say this because all the kids watching at home, they're gonna be. No one's gonna try this specific one. They're gonna try little ones. They don't understand. This is one of the most elite athletes in the world.
Oh yeah,
a Maryland wide receiver. The way you're describing him. Yeah. And this is who's doing this stuff. That people don't realize it. And then when they talk about in the Olympics, don't keep this stuff. These aren't real athletes. Have you ever tried to go in the half pipe snowboarding and die on the ice?
Oh yeah,
this is real stuff, man.
Even Travis, man, like, because I brought about a bunch of merch, right? And I'm like, oh, he looks like about a large because he looked, kind of like real, not like thin, but like really fit. And dude, I got out there and he's as big as me, dude. I was like, holy fuck.
And he's broken. Like he doesn't
that's what I mean. But he's in insane shape, dude. insane shape.
Huge.
And you're like, oh, this guy's obviously an insane athlete, right? So that's what people don't realize is like what an insane athlete.
To do all that stuff.
Yeah.
What?
So a lot of people don't understand. Travis Pastrana was winning motocross like races. Like he was one of the top motorcycle dudes in the world, and then started getting banged up and was like, I'm going to rally cars. And just made and then he was one of the top rally car racers for like 10 years.
Dude, we should put a charity rally car team together for the
I ain't messing with
I'm in.
Listen, I'm sick.
Right in.
I'm not
Navigate,
getting into
drive, I'll do everything.
You go right ahead, Ben. I'll cheer you on. I'll work the pit. I'll change tires. I know they don't change tires in rally car, but
I'll be piloto. I'm driving. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not getting in the car, bro. I'll be
I'm
so
not saying
sick.
we're gonna
All
go far.
Listen, we got sidetracked like we do when I'm in charge. Well, let me say this. I'm not really in charge. I'm just kind of the guy herding cats the best on here. Well, I ain't even gonna say that. I'm just herding cats. All right. So listen, we got a couple topics today. We're going to talk about some Marine whooping butt. We're going to talk about these less PCS moves, which makes a lot of sense. I don't know why the military just figured that out. Dang, I done forgot the last two. I know them.
Oh, the Rangers in Florida.
Rangers, like that. Come on, man. What we doing?
There's a lot of really angry Rangerback guys in my comment section right now. I did a video on that today, and they are not happy about me making that video.
And then our last topic, you know me and Saboyas, the big onions and Marine Corps uniforms. we got one of my girls back doing some crazy stuff, but she modified the uniform a little bit. So we're going to talk about those 4 big ones today. Let's get right into it. My man, shout out to Aaron, is helping us out. We love the dude. If not, we would have showed up 15 minutes late. We might not have had anything working. Okay. So a United States Marine, I believe in E9, said that there was a crazy dude having a psychotic episode on an airplane. So he started tracking dude like a Marine would do. And the second the Marine tried to get out of line, he basically body slammed him and put him in the hurt. And
authorities say a passenger tried to open the emergency exit mid-flight. This video shows a couple of veterans zip tying the man to his seat until the flight landed. Fox 26's Abigail Dye explains.
They want to restrain you to the chair, You're not going to make it to that window.
This is video from flight NH0114 from Tokyo to Houston Saturday. 2 men zip tie a man to his seat after passengers say he tried to open the emergency exit mid-flight.
So the guy was sitting behind me directly. He actually got up out of his seat and crawled over the people that were sitting next to him. And he got up in a hurry, so I just assumed he was sick.
Ashley took these videos. She tells me over the phone the man went for the emergency exit. And once he did, 2 men jumped into action.
And they brought him back to the seats, and they actually set him down and zip-tied him to the seats directly.
all right, so I mean, let's just start with Nate. Nate, you were just flying. My man Jody right there, looking like your typical Marine E9.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're done.
Yeah, like
it looks exactly like what you would expect from this story.
Yeah, that dude snatched the dude's eyeballs out and was having a little dessert on his chest. So Ben, go ahead and start, man. You a Marine. I know you've worked with a couple of these savages.
100%. I mean, the picture says it all, right? There's no standard getting past this man right here. He detected the bullshit before it even happened. He saw something out of regulations.
Yeah,
He's used to intervening. Yeah. First was the knife hand, probably, and then he went into the knife mode attack, took him down. You know, God love him, proud of him. But that's what I was talking about the last time. You know, we're talking about, courage and moral courage. You get used to doing things, right, and saying things that are uncomfortable and doing what you think is the right thing becomes a habit. So he has a habit of jumping in. He saw bullshit and he attacked it, like he's been doing probably for a long time to make it to that level. And looks really squared away. And I will tell you this. I mean, he looks in mega good shape for Marine Corps shape. Like he's putting in the miles, putting in the time, and all that. So just another testament to his discipline. But yeah, that's what I got to say. I mean, that's no surprise, right? Look, you take a look at him, and not a surprise from the look on his face and everything. That's not going to fly. So if I went by him, he found out I was a Marine, I'd probably be snatched up too. He'd be like, "With his hair, what's going on?" I know you're out, but we got to clean it up a little bit.
Nate.
Yeah, we got Shane. We got Shane's just heavy breathing just coming in across.
Yeah,
no picture of him yet.
Listen. He's down there fighting a crocodile, mate. Okay, he's down there fighting a crocodile.
Can you not see my camera yet?
No, you got to turn the camera on, bro.
So cool too. The accent coming out of the darkness is perfect.
You might need to relog. Sometimes that could be the issue too.
I'm expecting to see like a big knife just coming out of the darkness.
That's not a knife.
I
should have worn my Australia t-shirt.
That wasn't the actual line. He just said that off the cuff, and it's the most famous thing about the whole movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, try to see if you can relog, brother. See if you might have had your camera not turned on or something like that on the loading room.
Oh, well.
Right. Nate, you want to cover?
Yeah. I mean, God, dude. I think Ben made a great point there of just like we're so trained and like so I don't want to call it indoctrinated, but used to like being observant, situational awareness. Like I guarantee that guy noticed that before anybody else did and was on him like that. Because I mean, I'm sure you guys are the same way. Like if I'm in a restaurant, if I'm on a plane, like you're always surveilling the area. Some people call it paranoia. I just think that's the way we're so ingrained into our brains to be like cognizantly aware of the things around us that's the one dude you want on that flight when something like this happens is a Marine Corps Sergeant Major, right? Like Ben said, that dude's that's just constantly been like watching for the smallest fuck ups in people like for 20 years straight, just ready to pounce on that. And And thank God you had somebody like that on that flight, because the thing is the average person, the average American is not doing that. They're completely oblivious to whatever is going on around them on that plane, probably head buried in a tablet. So the fact that you actually did have a dude there that's paying attention, jumped into action and stopped that immediately. I mean, like, man, props to that dude, right?
So you guys seen all them fight videos, right, from the airplanes, and it's always the craziest thing in the world to me, because I'm like, if I was on that flight, you'd be dead. Like I would have secured you and choked you out in 2 seconds. The second you got up and started a fight in the aisle with anybody. The other one I was gonna say is, you guys seen the video of the woman who the stewardess was trying to take her baby? Like the stewardess would have had to catch an L, like craziness. So craziness on the airplane. Shout out to Jody, Sergeant Major, E9 in the Marine Corps, handling it for the red, white, and blue over the Pacific Ocean. All right, give Ben a win in the Marine Corps. Chalk one up for the Marine Corps. Fucking hoorah.
Hoorah.
One question I've got. One is that Paul bloke in New York who did the chokehold of the guy on the subway.
He killed him as a Marine too. Yeah.
Would that be in anyone's mind that charged with manslaughter hell for doing exactly a very similar thing? So, how many people now are weighing that up? Am I to get charged with offence for defending a view too differently, or too different, if that makes sense?
Yeah, this is what I would say, Jody. I'll start with that one. I would say this, man. I'm always going to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Like, that's the only principle I grew up on from, call it 7th grade on, when I took a massive L in the streets. I'm always going to be judged by 12. I'm never going to be carried by 6. So I'll worry about all the other stuff after I'm one of the dudes that's chilling, But yeah, I mean, we're in America. That happened in New York City. There's no telling but I know this. That dude got the biggest relief fund in the history of mankind on GoFundMe. I want to say it's like $3 million now. So,
wow.
Yeah, like America's going to stand up for what's right. That's what we do.
What you don't see, what you don't know the real truth about the story is that the Sergeant Major was going to correct the people in the seat in front of him on something else. And he was about to say, like, this, you're making too much noise, lack of regulations. He was going after him. But then this popped up and this took precedence. So we don't know. That's why he was already in motion, rolling it on someone for a uniform violation. Something was going down. And this guy happened to pop up and he just took him down. He's like, all right, target priority. That goes first.
So. Let's go, Jody. Go kick ass, brother. All right, on to the next one. Task and purpose. Talking about we want troops to change duty stations less often. How about that one? Like that's a total common sense one to me, Nate.
Dude, as we're SF dudes, man, we're in groups. We spend our entire career at the same spot for a special forces group. Unless I'm at either a broadening assignment at SWIC, right, for 3 years as an instructor, or maybe I go, if it's like first group or 10th group, you can spend some time at like the Ford Station battalions in Okinawa or Batolls. Other than that, like SF dudes stay at the same base for 18 years of their career. Man. Why do we need to move dudes 6 times, 7 times in their careers? Like, why? I never understood it. It doesn't do anything for us. Like as SF dudes, we don't do it. Doesn't hinder us. Like, do we know like what maybe you guys know, because I'm sure you guys have it a lot more in like the Navy or the Marine Corps. I'm not sure what's supposed to be like the positive benefit. Ben could probably answer this as a commander. What's the positive benefit of moving dudes constantly every 3 years in and out of the unit? What, like theoretically, or like why? I mean, we're obviously been doing it for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I'll say is that, MARSOC used to be like NSW, a lot of similarities with that. We had East Coast, West Coast, but now everything's consolidated. Actually, I was just talking to one of my old guys last night, and they consolidated everything back down to Camp Lejeune now, to Stone Bay. So all of MARSOCs, they're just like SF. So everyone's in one place. But as I've heard it said, because I used to wonder a lot of the same things. Obviously, until I made lieutenant colonel, and then I got brainwashed and I believed everything. I said, yes, that's how it is. But I think, as I heard it said, it's career broadening. I think for senior staff NCOs and officers, who knows if this is the truth? Let me just give you my best, reasoning right now. But to fill certain billet structures, career broadening, not to have you stay in one place, so that you understand, as they said, the enterprise. You understand the full. Marine Corps is a pretty big organization. You're expected to be a generalist, in a lot of ways. So if you're in MARSOC, you're expected to be a MARSOC dude, right? Like an SF guy, stuff like that. But if you're a general, if you're a Marine Corps officer or senior staff NCO, especially when you go the first sergeant route, you're expected to be a generalist, to have good, strong general knowledge of how the Marine Corps works, all the way from the, fancy tactical stuff down to personnel stuff, down to supply, everything to taking care of Marines. So, because you might keep on ascending. If you want to keep ascending, the rank structure, it goes pretty quickly like this in SOF, But if you, otherwise, there are a lot more opportunity for people. So that's how I heard it said. They want, have a Pentagon tour, have an East Coast tour, a West Coast tour, an overseas tour. So you see so many different things, COCOM, all these different things. So anyway, that's the way it was conveyed to me before. I don't know. I know money has to be tied to it somehow, some way. Of course. Now this for sure, this is right on the nose, saving money. But then it didn't make sense. I'm like, this costs so much to move people, So that's my take on it.
All right, Nate. Let me jump in here real quick because I want to say something that's just absolutely hilarious. Okay, so it is absolutely just amazing at the timing of this new let's not move everybody so much that directly coincides with this contract that they gave to this company that has yet to move anybody in 2025 because they were trying to Uber move people. Like they had like Uber and U-Ship and like all these online shipping companies trying to move troops around, and no one would pick up the move. So you would schedule back in the day. I mean, you've moved, we've all moved.
Yeah.
You scheduled the move, and they said they'll be there on June 18th. They showed up on June 18th, and they did your shit, right?
Yeah.
Listen, right now, you got a move scheduled for June 18th. Ain't nobody showing up.
Wow.
They ain't nobody. Yeah, bro. Like you got orders to report next month, and no one shows up. Like you're leaving your wife in the house because no one showed up to move your stuff. So like they got massive problems over the logistics aspect. They pulled the contract. Is my understanding they pulled the contract, but the reverberations that they're in fact like 5 months behind moving people has caused the government all of a sudden to deem, you know what? I don't think we need to move anybody. Like why don't we just hold tight where we're at for the time being? So that's my take. It ain't got shit to do.
You know what it might be time for, Jake? War room movers. Sign up in the chat. Come on.
Hey,
opportunity.
That's right.
Hey, it's a real contract now. This ain't no little fly-by-night contract.
I know you got a little shipping experience too there, Jake.
We run some vans fleet now. Shit, we run some vans.
What do
you think, Nate?
Yeah, I mean that if that's the case, I mean, yeah, that's really bad. The second you start, dude, not showing up to move somebody's house when they're going to go to a new duty station, then telling their spouse, "Hey, figure it out," while your husband still has to make his report date. Bro, that's a huge no-no to families. But from a financial standpoint, I mean, God, PCSing all these soldiers all the time has to be one of the biggest costs in the entire military. I mean, it costs a shit ton to move a soldier from JBLM to Okinawa, tens and tens of thousands of dollars per. It's $21,000 per move per soldier. You start to extrapolate that over the entire military every 3 years. That's got to be in the billions. So what's the cost benefit analysis is kind of what I look at it, right? Like, are we getting enough benefit out of the things Ben brought up of like being able to be at different units is like professionally for professional development over spending billions of dollars? If not, shit, I'd say get rid of it, man. Not completely, right? Like guys need to do broadening assignments and things like that, but get rid of this like mandatory every 3 years you have to move to a new duty station just because that's the way the military says it is. In my opinion, if it makes sense for that soldier to like, let's say they're taking a new command position. They need to go out to, sock pack instead of being at group or whatever. Yeah, hell yeah, do it. But like, just to be like, hey, this E4 has been here for 3 years, so he needs to go to a new duty station. I don't know. I don't think we really need that.
Yeah, and you guys know I got a awesome recruiter working with me that's moving from the middle of Illinois to South Dakota, and he's going to be the station chief of his recruiting station, the new recruiting station in South Dakota. And they were supposed to show up like May 15th for the move, and they were like, no bueno. And I'm like, what'd you do? He's like, I got a U-Haul. And he said, actually, I got 2 U-Hauls and a trailer, and loaded my cars up and loaded my house into 2 U-Hauls because I have to be there because there won't be anybody in the station if I don't show up. Damn. And so it's like, I always come back to the United States military serviceman is going to find a way to make it work, but this ain't how it's supposed to be. So I know there'll be a lot of happy kids, a ton of happy kids, man, a bunch of happy kids that they can stay in the same elementary school, the same middle school,
100%.
the same high school, and ain't got to move. So
let me share one horror story for you on a larger scale. So can you imagine you deploy as an infantry battalion and you're stationed in Camp Pendleton, California, probably the best duty station for the Marine Corps. Kaneohe Bay in Hawaii, pretty damn good too. You're a little isolated, but pretty damn good. Nice stuff. Camp Pendleton's fantastic. Southern California, families are happy. You deploy. In the infinite wisdom of the Marine Corps, the Council of Generals sitting around, God bless all of you, if anyone's listening, they decide without unit needs to move. They pick up the pawn, moves to move from Pendleton to 29 Palms in the desert. We need that training going on. Dude, 100%. I was sitting there. I never forget walking with one or two guys. Like we're walking from wherever that was the 7-day store, little convenience store they have, middle of 29 Palms. This is the desert. It's not the preferred choice duty station, but great training, everybody. Great shooting, great training.
Unless you're a spouse.
Oh my God. Right. Exactly. So all of a sudden, we see like the trail of tears of like these families showing up looking lost. We're like, what's going on? We get the word. They show back up off deployment. They're just scattered. It was a mess. They moved them during their deployment. The whole kit and caboodle to 29 Palms. Families were separate. Yeah. They're like, that's too bad. It's done.
My God.
Move.
Dude.
Oh yeah, Nate, you're missing out.
While they were deployed?
While they're deployed.
Uprooted their family. Oh
Yes.
my God, dude.
Oh,
That's so crazy, dude.
That's Semper Fi, do or die right there. Now you understand. But now you understand the sergeant major on that airplane. Now you understand. You see what's going on right there, right?
Yeah. That's why your retention is the worst. So
it's all right, Semper Fi.
Yeah, but their recruitment's the best. So they just can't hold them in. Yeah.
Hey. Turn and burn, baby. Turn and burn. Man, craziness. All right, let's get going. We're going to let Nate kick this one off. We got some Army Rangers from the training unit. Blasting off with a 6. Oh, God, it's a black dude. Wait a minute. Hang on. We just had race relations.
Do you know 1 minute before it was the other guy holding the gun?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Now,
so first of all, Jake,
yes.
you just triggered every Ranger bat dude in the world by what you just said. And I'll get into why here in a second. Right.
Oh, man.
How dare you? How dare you call them Army Rangers? How dare you, Jake?
They're training guys. Okay, so listen, here's the deal. They're Army Rangers. They got guns, okay? 18 soldiers with the 6th Ranger Training Battalion have been temporarily suspended because their instructors pending the outcome of an investigation in the May 16th incident in Florida where they ripped off some blanks in the M60.
Yeah, there's a video of it right here.
Let's play the video. It's the best thing in the world. This goddamn America. Everybody should get it.
That's kind of a weak part of the video. He rips it for a while in the later videos.
Yeah, so he got automatically we got an AD, right? Like we got a
malfunction,
failure to cycle, non-functional. Yeah. Just we're in the middle of a bunch of people. We ain't got no announcement. We ain't got no drone swarm flying overhead saying the 60's about to go off. to proclaim America's the best country. I'm just going to say this. They ain't get no authorization. They ain't got nothing.
So,
Nate, go ahead, Nate.
I did a video on this, and there is some context to this. Okay. First of all, let me say to any Army Rangers out there watching, what makes an Army Ranger is the Ranger School tab, not the scroll. Okay. Just to trigger fucking everybody out there. Real Army Rangers are ones that went to the school, not in battalion. Okay. Now that they're all furious, let's move into some context.
That's great.
So they had what they were doing was the Army Rangers were a part of, I forget the name of this event. It's like Bow-Legged Willie's Pirate Adventure or some crazy shit like that, where the Army Rangers were in a ship battle with the pirates. Okay. So they were a part of a big exercise earlier in the day for people to watch, right? Where they were on their Zodiac shooting machine guns at the pirates. It's really cool. What happens then is that gets over, and this group of Rangers then goes 5 miles down the beach to Crab Beach, and I think are probably drunk as shit and decide to get on some dude's bass fishing boat. That's not a military boat, as you guys noticed. That wasn't a Zodiac. That was some random dude's bass boat.
It's like some Vietnam stuff right there.
Yeah, and then start what you can't see in this video. There's a better video later. Start ripping off rounds with a machine gun, and then start shotgunning beers in front of everybody in uniform on the boat.
So they're
done with the machine gun.
With the machine gun ripping, dude. So here's a professionalism thing, man. Like here's what I said in my video. I'm like, as much as I want to say how cool this is, like that they did this, is dude, as soft dudes are, people in the comments like, they're not soft dudes, they're Ranger instructors. Half of them are from the fucking 75th on a broadening assignment. So shut the fuck up to everybody complaining about that.
Right.
They're Rangers, right? Like, just let them do what they're going to do. Let them have a good time. No, man. Like, you're in fucking uniform in an area where, like, yes, that immediately surrounding area of a couple boats probably thinks it's cool. But, like, the dude 400 meters down the beach has no idea why there's just fucking gunshots ripping off right down the beach, right? Like, people around don't know what's going on. And again, like, chugging beers in uniform in front of fucking, like, the public, man, that's a fucking no-go for me. Like, I'm sorry.
100%.
Like you could say it's cool, it's badass. I think it's a fucking massive failure in professionalism, and it's not a good look, in my opinion.
Well, the thing is too, like Nate's saying, I mean, like heads are going to roll, unfortunately, because of their actions. And I'll definitely go full out, officer commander here. Because of their actions, the chain of command is going to get fucking rocked. Some general officer somewhere right now, some congressman probably is sliding across his desk or her desk. Someone somewhere is poking the chest of the general and be like, look, you can't handle it, I'll handle it. You're going to lose your command authority for whatever, for trying these people, taking care, you're going to take care of it. So everybody's going to get screwed up from this because they're going to investigations. There are going to be tons of stupid. It's not stupid, but it is stupid. It's tons of the training we all know and love so much where we all get together in a room and they talk to us about, why we don't do things, but this is why it happens. This is why you have to do it.
And people Ben, real quick context. I didn't say these are Florida phase instructors. From Ranger School. These aren't these aren't Ranger privates. These are all instructors from Florida phase at Ranger School. These are all senior NCOs, dude.
Yeah. And they've been down there for a while too.
Yes. At the military's premier leadership school. Wow. They're instructors, right?
Wow.
Now hang on here. Now, just coming at it from a SEAL angle, Nate, are there any rules about being in a boat with a life jacket on?
Oh, I mean, in the military, fuck yes, dude.
So here's the other thing I saw as a junior officer looking for safety violations. I see fingers and ears. Okay, so my opinion, the only thing that could have made this better is if one of the dudes would have fell off the boat and drowned, and they lost the gun too. Like that would have made it just like, that's full blown.
He's flagging people with that weapon too. He's flagging them.
Well, so, another one somebody mentioned in my comment section, I didn't even think about, a blank firing adapter, like blanks are loud, dude. Like they're fucking loud. It's still the same explosive cartridge. There's just no round in it. Right. And think about all those people right next to that. They don't have ear pro, just getting like their ears just blasted out by this machine gun. Like, it's kind of like, the more you think about it, you're like, it's kind of fucked up and scumbagish, like to do this like that.
And my thing is this: what if they lost that weapon? What if someone rolled up on them and took the gun? You're done. You're done. Not obviously they got a huge safety net where of agents and undercover people who are going to probably snatch it really fast. But I mean, still, like Jake said, if you drop the weapon in the water, it goes bye-bye.
I think that's not the worst that going to happen. What I was shocked didn't happen. This is Florida, dude. Think about you have
shot.
You didn't get shot. Think about the dude who's 50 meters away who doesn't know what's going on, hears gunshots and sees 100%. A dude with a fucking rifle on the boat and immediately, like if he's a trained dude, just immediately draws and smokes that dude off the boat. Thinking like I just stopped mass shootings are a normal thing here in America. Like that wouldn't be that crazy of a thing to happen in that situation. Like that could have especially in Florida, dude. Stand your ground, say everybody's armed.
Right.
All of a sudden gunshots start ripping off on a boat that you didn't know what's going on.
Hey,
I don't know, man.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. You got 2 or 3 dudes like, oh yeah, we got an opportunity.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, I'm thinking about
Rangers. Me personally, I'm on the beach and I don't know what's going on, and I hear fucking gunshots blast off 30, 40 meters away, and I look over and there's a dude with a fucking rifle on a boat.
Yeah, dot him.
Oh, dude, it's scary. It's scary, man.
Man. Army Rangers. Yeah. Listen, man, we've all had some idiotic things happen in training. We've all done some dumb shit. But in 2025, I think you're gonna have to pull the plug.
Everybody's got a camera, dude.
It's 2025. 95% of your life is filmed, no matter where you are in America, right? Like it's just that's how it is. And so
what I was thinking though is it's 18 Ranger School instructors from Florida got suspended. How many instructors are at Florida phase? I feel like this is all of them. I feel like all of the instructors. Are there any instructors at Florida like phase now, or is the school shut down right now?
Now I'm going to say this too, as someone who's run a high risk training school before. When I was running the recon training company, BRC, had sniper school, all this stuff. But now your structure is screwed. They're in a safety dilemma because you have high risk training. You have to have enough sleep. You have to have enough safety briefing. You have to make sure everybody's, okay. Are you okay to handle students, especially the high risk training they're probably doing out in the water, things like that. And so now their structure might be screwed where, now you might get someone killed in Florida phase because you're missing 18 instructors, or they're shutting it down, or the pipeline's still down. Everything you're saying, there's so many downstream effects from this. It's crazy. So, man, interesting.
And hey, Nate, go talk to me about the average instructor, age, rank, just experience. The average instructor at Ranger School. I think everybody needs to hear that one too, to get a picture that we're not dealing with, like you said, privates.
First of all, every Ranger School instructor has passed Ranger School right out the gate. So they've been through the military's premier leadership school, right? Like you're expected to be a higher level NCO after coming out of Ranger School, or officer, right? It's a huge deal for officers too. So that right out the gate. And then so you take that in effect. Not every Ranger School instructor is from Ranger Battalion. That's a misconception, right? This is why Rangers get so mad about this. They come from all over the military. Okay. Anybody can kind of do Ranger School as a broadening assignment if you've passed the school. But yeah, you're looking at all probably E5s to E7s, probably primarily E6s and E7s that have been through Ranger School, that are senior NCOs, that are instructors in a top leadership school. This is not the type of behavior you expect from that demographic in the U.S. Army, whether they're Ranger Battalion guys or not, right? That's senior NCOs that have been through and passed Ranger School. They know, like, nobody on that. And to me, it blows my mind is there's a ton of them out there. There was 18 of them out there, and none of those 18 dudes was like, motherfuckers, we ain't doing this. Like, no. So that's what blows my mind.
Yeah. I think we're going to see an investigation come out. I mean, you're going to see, this is how it goes. Investigation, people are going to get burned. A couple of people are going to have to go down hard for it, because that's nuts.
I said in my video was like, your higher level command is hosed, dude. Like hosed. Right. And then probably your NCOIC or senior NCO that's there on the ground, your senior E7 that's allowing that shit to happen, like his tab's getting pulled, he's fucked. And those lower level dudes, I don't know, they're getting, like, there's a lot of Article 15s going out. There's a lot of
stuff. But the one thing I'll say is and it just downstream effects. As I hear people complain about, oh, and then this new guy came in, he's such a rule follower, and he was unfeeling and cold, and he maxed everybody out. Well, usually it's because, we do this. We have the high point, we hit the low point, they send somebody back in that's going to friggin' yank the chain really hard. So, I mean, the best way to do it is to tighten your own screws before they get tightened for you, so this is what it is.
All right, folks, we got a couple super chats on the bang them real quick like Aaron Wood. My man, New Bob Dole, $5. Appreciate it, man. My perspective as a CONUS Army brat, moving so often sucked. Thank you. We know that. But does make for more self-reliant outlook, and you guys are pros at making friends, brother. And then you all so observe that too. So it's a good question, man. Like, I grew up Fort Lewis, Washington. I got lucky. My 10 group of friends, all their dads, that was their last duty station. But, you know, like we got this nice chick named Liz one time. She was there for 3 years. Everybody was upset because we didn't get to see the maturation process, right? Like, but they were always really good at making friends, but they're also a little bit socially awkward because they grow up on an Army base. So go ahead, Nate. You've had a couple kids kind of in that environment.
Yeah. Hey, first, Shane, mute your mic, brother, while we're waiting for you to figure that out. Just click the mute button.
Oh, wait, I can do that. Oh,
there you go.
Did it.
All right. So I'll say from my old kids' perspective, obviously, like living now. Again, we didn't move necessarily as much, right? But I moved from JBLM out to Okinawa, back from Okinawa. So that was 2 or 3 moves within their elementary school and middle school time. And I will say, like, their ability to adapt and make friends, like, because we're talking about potentially moving out to Texas, right? And like, my kids are like, cool, yep, let's do it. Yeah, like most kids are like, oh, I can't leave my friends, I can't reset, and they're just like, what? I'll have a pool at the house. All right, later, dude. My son's like, what? Football in Texas? Because that's his sport. Yeah, okay, I'm out. So it is. I think it's. I don't want to say it's good for the kids necessarily, but it does make them. It makes the kids worldly a little bit, makes them resistant, makes them adaptable. Is it the best thing for them? I don't know, man. Like, I guess we'll find that out, you know, someday. But I think that. I don't know. I think that it would be better to have more stable, you know, stability, and kids like, you know, you're going to move in the military, but maybe not again, like every 3 years. Do we need to up in them around the world? I don't know. I don't think so.
And shoot, Ben, I apologize, bro. I act like Nate's the only guy with kids in the military. I know you got Gage and Van, and they grew up in the military the whole time. So what's your take on it?
I mean, we did the same thing. We did like, I think 10 or 11 moves, and they had probably 5 in their elementary school years, you know, so same thing. I mean, it can go one of 2 ways. It's definitely not easy for them, you know. But you know, I think the most important thing obviously is, you know, is the family, how you treat each other, things like that. And, you know, as dads, being involved as much as you can, explain to them what's going on. I mean, I think obviously goes without saying, the hardest things probably on my kids were combat deployments, you know, because that's some real stuff. You know what I mean? Going away for a long time, and you know, it's hard for them to understand. But I think it's better if they get some more stability in the military. You know, if they get some more stability and families get to stay and homestead a little bit, I think that's a good thing. You have cost savings too. You know, I mean, I saw in the chat, I think it was Jamerson saying, you know, it's 3 years non-negotiable. Every 3 years going to be moving. He's right about that. The old Marine Corps, especially. And it doesn't sound like it's changed much from what I'm hearing. So.
And Ben, you guys as officers typically are like moving even faster than that a lot of times, right? Like, I know sometimes you have a 1-year position. You're like in, out, gone, on to the next duty station. Like, that's got to get insane.
Definitely. That's definitely a real challenge, you know. And, you know, as I've heard it said, I've heard, you know, they'll talk about, like, as you ascend the ranks, that gets down to the 2-year mark, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year sometimes. You know, one of my old guys, you know, good friend of mine who I talked to last night, you know, he's basically gone away for a year, coming back home, had to leave his families. You know, he's seen them as much as he can, but instead of moving the family, you know, he did it because he's going to a top level school right now. So he's, you know, he's doing really well in his career. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of stuff. I think a lot of things, a lot of people who haven't been in the military don't see behind the scenes the impact it has on families and the effects of it, the strain and the stress. You know, there's definitely a lot. I mean, no doubt we choose it, and no doubt, you know, we are a volunteer force, but it's it's definitely not easy. But as I'll say, if you're working sometimes in other jobs too, it's not easy either. So I recognize that as well, you know. And I think it's your attitude and your focus, what you make of it, just like anything, you know, it's what you make of it. And your attitude goes a long, long way. So
listen, I'm over here, you know, my attention span's about 2 seconds. And I'm like, I totally forgot I coached college football, and we moved 7 times in 15 years.
100%, dude.
right?
Yeah.
Like my oldest kid went to kindergarten, went to a different 1st grade through 3rd grade, went to a different 4th grade, went to the same 4th grade, 5th grade, and then went to a different 6th grade. And now my wife is like, we're not moving ever again until they're done with school.
I'm glad you brought
And
that up.
it was kind of traumatic on him. Like, I think we had one too many moves. And, like, I had the option as a football coach to walk away from coaching. You guys in the military don't have that option. So,
and I'm glad you brought that up because definitely football is cutthroat. Having one of my buddies who's an NFL coach, we talking about. He said there are a lot of good coaches out there that are unemployed. He was, better coaches than me, fantastic. We're unemployed. They got with the wrong team. The team lost. That's it. So that's pretty hard, man. Results. That's all. That better than anybody, Jake, because you did it. So
yeah,
definitely.
Hey,
tough.
Shane, you got your satellite link up?
Well, I think so. How are we looking now?
Yeah, we got you on camera now.
There we go.
There we go.
We
did it.
We've had
We did it.
600 mils of rain in 3 weeks. So sorry.
Yeah, we don't know what that means.
Is
that inches? How many inches is that? A lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So 220 something.
Yeah, no, that's like 20 feet, brother. I think your math's a little off on that one.
All right, Shane. Listen, at least we saved the best for last. I got a couple super chats. Then we're gonna talk bow chicka bow bow. All right, Bobby O, Nate, did the Reaper really smoke you in shooting?
Yeah, somebody already tried to get me or did get me with this on the Anti-Hero Live. Brent got me with this, right? So he asked that same question while I was a little tipsy, and I kind of lost my shit.
Okay.
I haven't had a shoot off. Hadn't had a shoot off with the Reaper. I did say on the Anti-Hero podcast, if he wanted to come out and try to outshoot me in literally anything, pistol, carbine, PRS, that's fine. He's got zero chance. And I just say that realistically because this is my job. I'm firearms instructor, 100%. and I compete. I do competitive shooting all the time. It's my fucking hobby. So 99.9% of soft dudes that are active duty can't outshoot me. Not because I'm necessarily that good, but because I'm 10 times better than I was when I was in the unit. And this is all I do now. Way more than anybody, way more than Green Berets train, probably other than Delta. I'm shooting more than anybody, right? Because it's my job. I'm a firearms instructor and I competitively shoot. So no, you don't want that smoke, and that's fine, right? But
I want that smoke. I want the whole fucking cigar, Nate.
Well, you can come on out here. We can do some Navy SEAL versus Green Beret shooting, brother.
Let's go.
We can find out. You were on Top Shot, right? So
yeah. It was clown. Go ahead, Shane.
So, in all my combat experience, I judge my shooting on whether the bad guy didn't get back up. Is it really important if your rounds are a centimeter apart or an inch apart?
In the civilian world, it does. Yeah, man.
Veterans. Yeah,
so
as in like a different veterans talking about height over bore and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the question then becomes, yeah. So it's kind of like the way I look at it when I teach, because I teach law enforcement departments too, right? And civilians. The military and combat's much different than the civilian world, right? Because in combat, we get to shoot rounds that way. And it's kind of like, hey, if they didn't go where they were supposed to, oh, well, casualties of war. Doesn't work that way for law enforcement departments or officers. It doesn't work that way for civilians who are going to defend themselves in a public, crowded place. Like, you are responsible for every bullet that leaves that chamber. Now, height overboard, the difference in 2 inches on that shot, does it matter? I don't know. Has somebody got a gun to my daughter's head? Like, and now all of a sudden that 2 inches went from shooting him in the face and my daughter in the top of the skull. I don't know, man. You got to kind of decide that for yourself. So I say you should shoot as accurately as you can possibly shoot at all times, because again, we aren't on the two-way range is fun, right? Where it doesn't really matter that much where my rounds go. But when we get back into the real world, civilian world, then things start to matter a lot more. So it's just different. Combat and civilian firearms is much different.
To me, the biggest thing in civilian world, even in combat, is looking over your sights to see what's behind Like I've done some instruction for law enforcement, and they're going into houses with thin drywall that rounds will go through, and they didn't understand that. They've just watched Hollywood movies, thinking that that little bit of gyprock's going to stop that Glock round. No, you've got to know who's in the next room, or you've got to know, what's in your designated area before you pull the trigger. And I think that's one of the things that is more important than whether your rounds are tight grouped or a little bit less tight, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like in America, right, everything's not made out of 12-inch mud walls like we're used to downrange, right? Where I'm not, if I start shooting at a bad guy and my buddies are in a room behind that through 12-inch walls, I'm not even worried about it. But here in America, when everything's made out of drywall or people, right, I put a round through a person and it goes right through him and hits, little Timmy behind him, right? I'm still responsible. So there's a lot more
I think
that goes into it with that.
I think that's the most important aspect that I'd be really reinforcing, Joe Public, is that rounds, it's not Hollywood, rounds have the ability to move through certain objects. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of, we had a massacre in Australia in 1996 where a guy named Martin Bryant had a AR-15 and shot like 30 people down in Hobart. And some of those rounds actually hit one person, went through that person and got someone else. And they came up to us because law enforcement did not understand anything about military, like 5.56 or 7.62, or they were just used to watching a Hollywood movie and opening a car door and hiding behind a car door or hiding in a cupboard and stuff.
Which they don't stop bullets, by the way, guys, for those of you who are listening.
Well, I watch all these videos on YouTube, and it's all about how quick can you get, your transition, or how quick can you get your grouping at 5, 3, 10 meters. And I'm thinking, surely for Joe Public, if you've got to pull your weapon out and someone's in your house, the more important thing is Timmy's bedroom behind wherever
100%.
your point of aim is, or things like that. So something that's interested me from an Australian perspective, because we don't have the ability, which annoys me, to own firearms and do the training that you guys do. I'm always extremely jealous when I watch your videos and your training packages, because we have similar threats. If you Google youth crime in Australia, there's machete fights in local shopping centers and stuff, and we're not allowed to carry firearms.
Oof. It's crazy.
Hey,
stuff.
Shane, just let you know, we got houses open. They're for sale in San Antonio, Texas. And you ain't got a lot of rules. You can carry a gun, and ammunition is pretty cheap. And if you shoot anybody on your property after dark, you're innocent. So it's a pretty cool state. Come check it out, bro. I'm telling you.
That. Yeah, so if I run a veteran mental health organization, cool, if it wasn't for that work, I would be living in Texas yesterday.
Hey, Shane, shout out to, I got a brain PDF. I'm going to send it to you. This is my first time being on with you, but I'm going to send you brain PDF. I'll get your email from the group chat and I'll send it over to you. It's fire. Anyway. All right, listen up, man. I know we gave the Marines kudos for putting the dude in chokehold, WWF at the beginning. But now we got to make Ben go black, okay? Ben's going to go black, okay? Now listen, it's so odd that this E9 in the Marine Corps has popped up again. I did a video on her. You can go check it out. She's number 3 on my list, okay? But she has quickly devolved into a solid, somewhere between the M drug and the C drug. We can't talk about the candy and the M, but I would like you guys to understand she has 4 kids, okay? She's been married 3 times, and she has a fake pouty lip right now. So as we watch this video, I want you to keep that in mind. And, I'm going to set the scene. She's in an RV right now, okay? So you guys think she's out there $1 million, a 10 on this, that she's in an RV, okay? She probably homeless, living in somebody's RV.
And she's a Marine.
She's an E9. She's an E9 Marine. Yes, she is. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
So I won't stop. Love to see that thing go pop. Don't be phony, baby. Show me I can ride your pony. Saddle up and go.
All right. So let's
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gonna start it off.
Oh my God.
First of all,
what?
The lady don't have no
What?
rhythm. Okay. She has no rhythm. All right. First of all, she clearly served in Vietnam because she lost her ass over there. All right. And then the last thing I'm going to tell you, if you looked real closely, she took off her name tapes off her uniform, and she took the Eagle Globe and Anchor off the Smokey Bear hat this time. Okay. How do you guys feel? We'll start with Nate. Nate's, I know Ben went black. He's kind of terrified of having to speak on it, but we'll go Nate. Then we'll hit Shane in Australia. They're a little looser down there. And then we'll come back with the Marine Corps dang general and see what the general prescribes, seeing how he just talked about the good order and discipline of the Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying? Like he said the knife hand and then the fingers.
We got to call the sergeant major who took the guy down the flight. You see that face? He's going to be like, she's done. Yeah. She's done. We're going to call him,
ahead, Nate.
Put them face to face.
I mean, she's obviously not in the military anymore because the Marine Corps would absolutely fry her into oblivion. But you can do whatever you want once you're out, right? My question is was she actually an E9 in the Marine Corps? Is this a chick that's grifting being in the military? Do we know that she really was? Or is this just some chick that's just dressing up pretending to be that? Because if that's the case,
good question.
Jake, you just made her OnlyFans take off more and more.
If that's a real E9 in the Marine Corps, it's hard for me to believe, because how could you do basically 20 years in the Marine Corps with that level of discipline and everything that the Marine Corps has in it, and then you immediately get out and transition to that? It's kind of hard for me to believe.
Nate,
I'm not saying it's not true,
Nate,
but
are you telling me women don't sleep their way to the top of the ladder in the Marine Corps?
I don't know. I hope not, but maybe they do. I'm not sure how the Marine Corps works, right? But I'm just saying, I get it with the Gen Z E3s that are doing this shit, but an E9 in the Marine Corps is turned to this and she's not that old, so this means she probably got out a year ago and just straight to OnlyFans. Okay, I guess. I don't know. I think it's you can't stop people from doing it, but I wish people. I guess you could, right? Here's the thing: you're on a DoD pension, most likely. The DoD can still take that away. So if you decide to make a mockery out of the Marine Corps could very easily say, you know what? We're bringing you back in, and we're going to demote you down to E1, right? They could do something like that. I don't think they would, but I mean, I don't know. It drives me crazy. I hate this in anything in uniform. The Army Rangers at the beach, dancing Green Berets. I just wish people would stop. Do whatever you want outside of uniform. I don't care, but stop doing it in uniform.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think, Shane? Give us a down under opinion.
So I served with the Marines in Fallujah and in Helmand, and they've always had the best looking female soldiers in the US military. They've always been the fittest.
Air Force.
I have no issue with a single mum making extra money for her children if that's legit.
This is such an Australian dude take. I love it.
Look at Jake.
I think there's a lot more online disrespecting services than some good-looking Marine woman in uniform dancing. I think that's actually going to bring young ladies to the recruiting center rather than drive.
We did talk about that in our videos, that it is good for recruitment.
It's good for recruitment, man.
Yeah, like I remember at Camp Fallujah in November 04, and you come out of the green zone and there's a very overweight US Army women, and then you get to Camp Fallujah and they were all at a standard. They were fit. They looked good. You knew that they took pride in their uniforms. They got checked if they didn't. to me, I love Marines anyway. You know, if you've ever read anything I've written, I love the Marines. But I've never seen a female Marine, a female US Marine, and good on her.
Oh shit, I love it. Hey Shane, I like your opinion, brother. I like your opinion.
I like it too,
I'm
Shane.
kind of
I think it's a
kind
fair
of the
take.
outlier. I'm the outlier on here. I like the military women. You know, I'm not Captain America. I'm
He
not
really
6
likes
foot
him.
Green Beret dude. But like, hey, I'm just telling you, I like that take. All right, Ben. General Pappas.
Here we go. Let's get the professional take on this.
What do we have out of prim and proper Ben Pappas?
I think you guys hit all the really hit all the important points. You know what I mean? Like, you know, she can do what she wants when she's retired. Are there questions of, you know, her using the uniform? The EGAs are off, so, you know, probably really not. If she's still in, it's a whole nother ball game, right? If she's still in, there's a whole nother. I got to think that this would be gone. It's going to be gone. She's going to be, you know, getting hammered left and right. But yeah, I mean, you know, she gets out, and like Nate's saying, who knows if this is really the truth? Who knows if she really was an E9, you know? And if she is, and she decided to get out, and this is the way she's going, I don't know how far she takes it, or if that's all she does, is just kind of dance around like that. But, you know, I mean, to each their own, right? I mean, I think she has freedom of expression the way she wants to. But
can I ask a question? Yeah,
go ahead,
to
Shane.
all of you. Like, what's the difference between her dancing in uniform like that to a male veteran in his rig at a range, you know, wearing a singlet, you know, got his guns out, sun's out type deal, you know? In a lot of ways, they're using the same kind of methods to get their notoriety, whether it be, you know, OnlyFans or YouTube followers or
you know,
Instagram followers.
That's the same thing I talked about last week too. Like, you know, I think that's where you're going to run into the comparison. You're going to run into, you know, argument of the same thing. Like, there's that one famous Marine who absolutely fantastic shape. He's crazy running with a log on the treadmill. Like, you know, he's nuts doing the
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's out of control. You know, he's amazing. And, you know, and so, I mean, he's in uniform, he's doing things to show off his physique. And so that's what they would say. They'd be like, well, now you're prejudiced against me because I have the female form. I can't help that. You know, I'm not naked. I'm not, that's what I was saying. I don't know how far she takes it. And again, I don't even know if she's in. So this is the first time I've seen this. So, but I think those are all the questions that have to be answered. And, you know, see, I mean, it seems relatively tame. Now, if she's in, it's a whole nother ball game. She's active duty, it's a whole nother ball game, right? Or she's in the reserve component, you know, whole nother ball game. But if she's out and she's doing what she wants, and she doesn't have the EGAs on, I mean, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but what are you going to do?
Okay, folks.
Not a lot.
I got a flashing news traffic.
Oh,
go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
You've been holding this bomb.
Brother.
The hardest thing about the hardest thing about all of this, if she is in or a guy is in and he's making videos, how do you discipline young Marines, young soldiers for doing similar things? You know, like, part of leadership is lead by example. So she can't be out there shaking her ass and then say to some young female, you can't be doing that. So that's my thing. If she's still in, how do you maintain your leadership credibility? But if she's out, good luck to her.
Right.
Okay, folks. I got a message from Andy Thompson.
No.
Yep.
Drew?
He said this lady worked for Ben Pappas, and Ben Pappas is not telling the truth.
Oh
my God!
Wait. Dude, that is
Ben Pappas is turning red right now.
That's
Betty, what are you hiding from the crew that you know about
that? That's diabolical. That's diabolical. Jake, you are evil, man. That is diabolical.
Let's go, Ward Room. We on the Ward Room podcast.
Did you say Ward Room or the Ward?
I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, Ben's being really easy on her about this. And
now we know.
That's friggin' hilarious. Oh my God. The fact that you pulled out Drew, I was like, believing you. I'm like, really?
Panel.
What's that?
This will become an episode now of the behavioral panel. chasing us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Shane, I'm running it. It's gonna be borderline, somewhat functional, but not most of the time. All right, so listen up, man. We had another great episode. I want everybody to shout out where they're at, what they're doing. It's the summertime, so folks, I'm telling you, my motivation to do awesome content is kind of waning because it's great outside and I'm in the pool. So go ahead, Shane. You missed most of the episode because we were trying to bounce satellite signal off of 4 satellites, and that's how comms is. So go ahead, send your shout out, your mental health stuff. Appreciate you coming on here, bud.
Yeah, sorry about that. You know, you've kind of got to dodge China's satellites up there these days, you know, the way it is. Yeah, so I've got a mental health equine psychotherapy company, Pegasus Connections. We're actually in Ukraine, working with Ukrainian veterans. We're in Kurdistan, working with Iraqi counterterrorism guys that I worked with in 14, 15. We're in a few other countries, Kenya, doing some work. Plus, we've got about 400 or 500 veterans and their families in Australia. I was really annoyed I missed that part about the posting cycles because my partner, her dad did 40 years in the Air Force, and it really affected her childhood moving around. So that's we bring that approach, the holistic family approach. I look at the veteran and she can talk to the kids in the family because she lived that life. Doing a fair bit of looking into the US. Hopefully Bobby Kennedy can get ibogaine and stem cells approved to set some clinics up into Texas, and then we'll be doing some stuff where we're bringing Australian veterans with TBI and that across to the US for some treatment. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the war crime allegations that are still carrying on in Australia. That's causing a lot of mental health issues with our soft veteran community because. And I wrote an op-ed I can send you guys called "When's Our War Over?" Like just yesterday, they wrote our version of the FBI raided 5 veteran SASR guys home looking for evidence of some supposed illegal shooting in 2009 in Afghanistan. So, like, their kids are now going, "Dad, did you really shoot, you know, some innocent kid, or having to justify their war?" And so there's a lot of transitional issues. So I do a lot of work in that space. I'm an assistant curator at our war memorial with Afghanistan and Iraq. You know, I first went into Iraq in 2004, and as a humanitarian, did a lot of work in the villages and stuff like that. So you can catch me on, I mainly use X, Twitter, to put a lot of geopolitical stuff. I'm doing some work with a collection of intelligence analysts from different agencies around the world, looking at the 100,000 Islamic warriors that are training in Afghanistan right now. You know, ISIS, Al Qaeda, these groups have combined using the weapons the US left behind. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia had the Black Hawks fixed. They then went and trained former Al Qaeda guys to fly them. So they essentially now, ISIS / Al Qaeda in Afghanistan have trained Black Hawk pilots. They were part of the October 7 attack in Gaza. It was about 60% of them. That was just a bit of a set the conditions. Are our training methods working? So I'm tracking that. You'll see me put a lot of work of information out about that, trying to raise some awareness. But, you know, the GWAT's not over. So, yeah, that's kind of what my day, nights involve. You know, I'll be on the phone to 1, 2 in the morning with a veteran who's really struggling with his mental or her mental health, or on think tanks looking at places, you know, will Russia overrun Ukraine? What does that mean? And my partner is in Ukraine right now running some veteran programs. So that's I guess me in a nutshell at the moment.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much, man. Nate, go ahead.
Valhalla VFT on YouTube and Instagram. We're going live in 51 minutes on the channel.
Crushing it.
You already know.
Crushing it. We are all running as fast as we can to try to keep up with Nate because he's crushing YouTube. And Ben Pappas is new to YouTube. So go ahead, Ben. Drop that fire. Ben Pappas 1 at YouTube.
Who wants Ben to come back on the channel? I keep trying to come back on the channel.
Yeah,
on my channel.
I wanted to come this week. I thought we were going to do it this week.
We are going to do it this week.
Okay, cool.
We'll
hey,
talk.
I guarantee you. This
we got an episode with me and Ben coming soon.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yep. What's up, brother?
Nate, did you do any of the? Sorry, Nate, did you do any of the Talisman Sabres? Or
I did, brother, man. I was just in Australia, and yeah, man. Look, I got all the Aussie flags up fucking here everywhere. I was just in. Last time I was in Talisman Sabres 2022, 2023. So I was just there. Yeah.
Shane, I got family in Sydney and Melbourne.
But yeah, I've done a lot of work with the. What's that? Oh, I think ours was in 2020. No, not in 2013. But the most recent one I did was in 2022.
Bring me on. Let's have a chat about it.
Yeah, man, we could definitely do that.
I absolutely love those exercises. So,
Talisman Saber is my favorite exercise, man. I say all the time. Everybody gets so butthurt on my channel because I always say the Aussie 2CDO and SAS guys are better than the British SAS. I constantly trigger everybody with that. But you guys are my favorite dudes to work with. So yeah, man, a lot of experience. We definitely get together. Sorry, Ben. We interrupted Ben though on his pitch.
No problem.
Let's get Ben his pitch back.
Ben is contemplating whether he should just take his shirt off and drop the mic and walk off. Okay?
That's it. I just got to do something.
Bro.
You got to do something. Regain control.
Yes,
definitely looking forward to that. Thanks, Jake. I'm looking forward to that episode, Nate. Going to be great. Shane, I got family in Sydney and Melbourne just for you. So been down there before. They used to come out to the U.S. and used to see them quite a bit. It's been a little bit tougher. Over the past few years, but definitely a big fan of Australia. For me, guys, I just started up really on YouTube, getting that going. Please take a look. Hopefully you subscribe over there, see what's going on. I definitely cover some different stuff. I do also reviews of some music artists, things like that, which has been interesting. A whole nother world, pretty cool, really fun. I do all my leadership, life coaching, inspirational, life strategy, things like that, business strategy as well too. And so great time. But a big thing right now I got going on is my coaching membership, my private community with that. Really a bunch of supportive, awesome people in there. And we do monthly live sessions. So if you want to go a little deeper with me on some of these topics, things like that I bring up and I talk about, or you're looking for an accountability circle, an accountability partnership with a really supportive group, check me out on Instagram. Also on my YouTube channel, I've got all the links. They're all in my bio there. And you can check that all out. But definitely the coaching community, coaching membership is something big push right now for me, and been a lot of fun. It's fun to all of a sudden be on there in the community chatting, and someone else will pop in there, talking about what they got done this week, and pretty motivational, pretty fun stuff. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. And again, I'm running hard to keep up with these guys. I'm not even keeping up. I'm not even on the same track. I'm on a different track, but I'm going to get over on their track soon. So thanks, guys.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
hey, I'm Jake Swig. I'm a rap.
Yours and
Go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the things I like about Ben and yours, Jake, stuff is for experienced officers, you have a unique ability to put the information out there to anyone. Usually you get officers speak officer stuff and most people kind of go, what does that mean? But I really like both of your content.
Thank you.
I follow it all because it's for the every man. It's for the every person. And
thank you so much.
I think that's what's required at the moment because there's a lot of lost people and you guys have that ability.
Thank you.
Shane, I appreciate that. That really means a lot. But understand this, we both play football at the Naval Academy. So yeah, we pretty much the bottom dwellers down there at the United States Naval Academy.
We are the every people.
Yeah, we are everyday people. So
probably.
Yeah. All right, folks, listen up, man. I'm Jake Swig. Ben Pappas is getting you right in leadership. Nate's getting you right, creasing foreheads. Shane's over there helping your brain. We opening up game school tomorrow. You know what we helping you do. We're helping you open your mouth and speak to people so that you can be successful in life. You can catch me over on Jake's Wig, over on YouTube. Our Discord is blowing up. It's in the description of everything. I'm going to run down the list of things that we are murdering right now. Service Academy admittance, all 3 of them. Law school, medical school, any of them technical schools, were murdering it. ROTC programs, making pilots, Marine Corps, Navy, and the Air Force now. And pretty much just life success, man. We building champions for life. Want to send the War Room a shout out. If you guys haven't liked, subscribed, joined, listen, man, we got bangers on here. We're growing fast. Aaron is in the background. He normally is in the front ground, giving us all the good gravy. He's changed the SEO a little bit. We're starting to grow. Telling you, man, at some point,
how many subscribers are we at here?
I think we're like 84, 85.
Oh, I thought we were getting close to 5.
No,
it was almost double where we were a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
In
2 weeks.
Aaron and
crazy.
And Jay are making some changes, bro.
So,
Like,
hell yeah,
what
dude.
when you put an Aussie on there?
That was it. We went viral.
hey, Ben took his shirt off. We got fucking 10,000 women.
I was almost there on my own channel. I was like, I just got to do something.
Do you remember the last time I was on this, the first question was, do I like koalas or kangaroos more? And I said how the koalas have got chlamydia. Do you know the amount of DMs and messages I got asking, is that true? And
oh, yeah. Hell yeah, it's true.
About 200.
That's hilarious.
Wait a minute. The koala bears got chlamydia?
You didn't know that, Jake?
I mean, Doc, listen.
Yeah, you can't touch
been
them, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, they do, dude. Like, for real.
Wait.
That's not a joke.
How'd they get chlamydia? Who banged out the koala bear?
Apparently started at some marine exercise up in
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Goddamn Marines.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
That was the first super chat last time.
We'll sit on here and we'll BS until the sun comes up tomorrow. We'll catch y'all next week. Make sure you come on War Room. Shout out to Aaron. Jay is at Disneyland. If you're down in Florida and you'll see him, don't bum rush him with his family. Just send him a shout out from like across the way. We'll see y'all next Friday.
All right, fellas. See you.
Later.
Nate, I'll talk to you soon.